My thoughts on Brad Holmes. Um, this man has came from humble beginnings, working at Enterprise to working his way up from Enterprise to work at Atlanta Hawks, work with the Atlanta Hawks and work with the program that they had in basketball to going to the, St. Louis Rams, who are now the LA Rams, and working within their program and becoming a good scout because he has a great eye for talent. And his work is just impressive. And he's a great sports knowledge type of guy. He understands you know what to do as a GM and what not to do as a GM. He understands you know how to help a team grow and how to you know keep on winning and stay consistent and stay focused on the main goal. And the main goal is to get a Super Bowl. And he said it over the summer and the off season, like, look, man, we're going for a Super Bowl. That's the main thing we got to do. We got to go out there and get a Super Bowl. And even before thinking about the Super Bowl, and even before coming here in Detroit, you know, he had a great college football career, and he was a standout from what I see. Looking from afar, that he was good at not basketball, but good at football. He was so knee deep into the game of football, and he knew that within time he was going to get better and better and better and sharpen his game up, just like he's sharpening the way he could select players. And when you select players as a GM, you got to select players that are positionless, not of position, but positionless. And when you select positionless, you select a player that identifies with your head coach. And when you select players like that, it makes everything easier for Dan Campbell. It makes everything easier for Ben Johnson. It makes everything easier for, Aaron Glenn and the rest of the coaching staff. It makes everything a lot easier for them and to stay in the detail and to stay in the, zone and, pay attention to where we want to go. You know what I'm saying? Not just pay attention to where we go, but, you know, keep moving on where we want to go. And, you know, if it wasn't for, Sheila Hampford or Rod Wood or Chris Spielman or John Dorsey or any of these guys, Brad Holmes would never ever been in this position. He would have never got this chance to run this team and be the captain of the ship from from the top. And having a captain that's at the bottom on the field, just being the face of our franchise. It's just working out very well. And some people might have argued with him about selecting Jameer Gibbs at 12 or selecting Jack Campbell at 18, thinking that you can't select a running back at 12, thinking that you can't select a linebacker at 18. It's very possible that you could select Jack Campbell, that you could select Jameer Gibbs, because why? You're not thinking a need of position. You're thinking of what could fit the offense positionless and what you think could fit the defense positionless. You know what I'm saying? In more ways than one. And you're just drafting because you want something that fits the mold, that fits the piece, that fits what you're trying to build. And he's selected guys that, have a chip on their shoulder. Kirby Joseph, who's tied 15th in franchise all time in interceptions with, James Hunter, who is Jaden Ivey's granddad. You got Penei Sewell, who's definitely, arguably, a great all pro offensive tackle. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown, who then, said that he, wasn't interested in playing here, but once he heard, you know, Brad Holmes and heard Dan Campbell, he bought right in. And he's not the only player in Detroit sports history to say, hey, I wasn't interested in coming to Detroit, but I'm willing to make it work. And I'm willing to listen to, the general manager and the head coach. Last player to do that was like, Isaiah Thomas, who won, two back-to-back championships with the Detroit Pistons. But the very good value and point was to, get guys who buy into the system, get guys who trust the system and believe in the system and believe in making things work. And, Brad Holmes is just side by side with Dan Campbell selecting guys like Le'Veon Enriquez, I could keep going with, Makai Wingo, Broderick Martin, who hasn't played yet this season, but he shall be able to play, Ife Melifonwu, Chase Lucas, who is not on the team anymore. You got Ali McNeil. You have Derek Barnes. You have Malcolm Rodriguez. You have, so many great names upon names that is under the Brad Holmes tree coming here, making a difference on this team. And, we're 9-1 for a reason. Oh, and by the way, you add Jared Goff. You added Jared Goff from a trade, making a bold move, sending, Matthew Stafford straight to LA and letting him get his ring and letting him get a chance to see that opportunity and seize the opportunity to become an NFL champion, a Super Bowl champion, that is. And, it's so great, so great to do that by him and do right by him. And it's good to see a front office do right by these players and do right by the franchise and the fans. Because, after all, we deserve it. We really deserve to be in that argument of winning a Super Bowl. We deserve to be in that argument about being the best NFL team. We deserve to be in that argument to, be the ones that, run the NFC, the whole NFC, not just our division, but the whole NFC. We deserve to be the ones to, be number one in the power rankings, even though power rankings is not this team focus, even though it's not what they think about. They're thinking about winning a championship. They're thinking about winning a Lombardi and bringing it home to Detroit. That's what they're thinking of. They're not thinking about one playoff win or two playoff wins. They're thinking about winning the whole damn thing. And then I could bring up more players that he's brought in. Alex Anzalone, who was very familiar with AG and Dan Campbell in his, New Orleans Saints days, DJ Reader, Carlton Davis, Zadarius Smith. I can add names upon names, like I said, but with them being a part of this just makes everything a lot easier for the rest of the young fellas, because these veterans that we have on the team, really identify with the general manager and with, the head coach. And, we came a long way. We came a long way from Martin Mayhew and Tom Lawan. Bob Quinn with Matt Patricia, and that was awful. Matt Millen, that was awful. We didn't came a long way from, having multiple 2-14 losing seasons, the 3-13 losing seasons, the 6-10 seasons, the, having to go 0-16 seasons, to having ourselves, playing for a number one pick. We went from that to being a perennial team that could be playoff bound year in, year out. We went from that to doing that. And, we're plus 350, odds to win the Super Bowl. I mean, it's a big, big thing when you're in that conversation. It's a very good thing when you're a Lions fan and you feel that motion and you feel that happiness that you are a part of this conversation and you're not no longer talking about top 3, top 5 draft picks and you're looking forward to the off season and draft and, who you need to sign and what position you need to address and OTAs and practice and training camp and stuff. But training camp and OTAs is fun. Practice is fun. All those stuff is fun, but what you got to do to address your team from offense, defense, special teams. What can you do to address this team to make it every bit better? And again, I don't want to lose track of players. Khalif Raymond, he was brought in. Tim Patrick brought in. The trade that was not good, in my opinion, from Brad Holmes is trading, for a wide receiver out of the Denver Broncos. Broncos won out of that trade. But every other trade and every other move he's made was just smart. It was on key. You know what I'm saying? It was just on key, on point, on time. And it just makes us, feel like we're on top of the world. So I'm trusting in Brad Holmes to take us, to 3, 4, 5 Super Bowls. I'm trusting in him to do that. And just like other people, I was not on board with selecting a running back and selecting a linebacker at 18 at that time. But then again, it showed me better than it could tell me. You know what I'm saying? Actions spoke louder when you're doing that. And, you know, it's good to see this team do that. You know, it's great to see what the hell we can do, you know, as a winning team. And I'm proud of him. I'm proud of what he's done. And I'm sure you guys are too. So 9-1 on the season. Next week we got the Indianapolis Colts, November 24th, 1 p.m. game. I'm sure you guys are very excited about that game. And by the way, the Colts came off of a win. They came off a win, and you know, we're looking to go 10-1. We should have been 10-0, realistically. You know, Lions Syndicate already said everything that needs to be said about, you know, St. Brown getting tutties and, you know, multiple receptions. He said everything about Jameson Williams stepping up to the fold and making plays. He's already addressed, you know, Malcolm Rodriguez when his number is called, that you take your opportunity and go after your opportunity and you make the best out of your opportunity on the field. He's already addressed that. He's already addressed the fact that Alex Anzalone is out for 6 to 8 weeks, but will be returning to the playoffs and whatnot. But yeah, I absolutely like our chances. I like our chances going forward of taking this whole thing, beating the Bills, beating the Chiefs, beating whoever stands in our way. That's what matters to us. And if you ain't taking us seriously, take us serious now. You know, because this is only the beginning to something great. This is only the beginning to something, you know, that every NFL Lions fan, every NFL fan, and every other Lions fan is, you know, excited to see, and they know that this team is fun to watch. But yeah, you know, let's keep on building. Let's keep on doing things that excite the crowd. And hey, when you're on fire, you're on fire. There's nothing to put us out with, you know. And you know, the offense, they put out a great statement yesterday. They put out a great statement and steamrolled against the Jags. You know, we were dominating them then in 95 when we blew them out 44-0, and dominating them now, you know. So it doesn't make a difference if it was 95 or now. We still probably would kick their ass. Even though a few videos I did say that, you know, you shouldn't take a losing team lightly, and it don't matter the record. It just matters if you're ready to play football. That's what matters. But make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'm at 260 subscribers. Press that subscribe button. Tell a Lions fan to tell a Lions fan to come join the journey. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. That's the biggest goal here. And then once we work up from 500 subscribers, we're going to work up to 800 subscribers. And after 800 subscribers, there's going to be 1,000 subscribers. That's, you know, a work in progress, if you may say. So thank you for your support and believing in me. It's great to have you, One Pride, on my side. And it's great to be a One Pride member. Great to be a One Pride family member. And, you know, being a Lions fan growing up, we had tough times, we had bad times, but nevertheless, we always pulled through it together, and we do it together. But yeah, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and give me your thoughts on Brad Holmes, and give me your thoughts on, you know, next week's game. Because next week's game, there's going to be nothing but a lot of strategy. It's going to be a lot of straightening. It's going to be a lot of things that we got to do defensively, offensively, and fundamentally sound through special teams. So, with that being said, let's get ready for next week. Let's go. One Pride. Chicken Nugget King out.